Jax. Mm, 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 mm. Jax, Jaxie, Jax, Jax. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture, just to see how those incidents affect our daily lives. Jax! The chickens have come home to roost, baby girl! Too much, too much, too much, too much, too much. All right. Hey, this is Pamela, and thank you so much for joining me. If you like what you see, please hit that thumbs up button. That helps this channel. Please support the channel. Also, subscribe. And once you subscribe, you can peruse the playlist for all the shows that I have reviewed in the past. Catch up on your girl. All right. And as always, make sure you chop it up in the comments with your theories and what you suggest and all this stuff. So let's get into this. Let's get into this. I don't have much time, so let's get into this. Overall plot real quick. We have Braden still on trial. Jax calls his wife, and she leaves in the way she interrogated. Interrogated is not the word. Examined her. Left doubt, reasonable doubt that the wife could have done it. Also, she examined. I'm gonna say interrogate because I can't think of the right word. She interrogated Theo on the stand that left room that he could have done it. Also, we find out that the fingerprints, the unknown fingerprints, belong to Theo. A mess. And as we're talking about Theo, now the last witness that she called was Braden's mother, and Braden's mother decided to talk about her youngest son who was killed by a drive-by shooting, and how Braden kind of calmed her down for seeking revenge. So at this point, she has rested her case. Now, baby, let's get to these subplots, because baby, them subplots was brewing back here in the background. So let's start off with Theo. Theo, as I've said before, is trying to take over the company. He wants to sell it. He wants the money. He wants to get all of that done. And while Braden has been on trial, he has been slowly doing what he has set out to take the company right out from under him. And so basically what it is I don't know, in the next episode, is Theo going to be the CEO, simply because now there's some doubt of whether or not that his butt was involved with the company. But I will go back. Jax did bring it out in court that Theo overvalued the company and embezzled money, because that's what Kalisha was going to show that he did. I'm glad. His little snake in the grass tail, I'm glad that he has now been found out to be a liar, a thief, and all kinds of stuff. So he won't be having his company, or his CEO-ship is short-lived, because now we figure out that he's been stealing from the company, and Kalisha found all that out. So wonderful. I still think he killed Kalisha, but I will tell you there's something nagging me about something, but I'll go back to it. So that's the first subplot. Then we get into Jax's messy ass life. Oh, messy life, baby. First of all, Lewis hit her with the wop wop. I want a divorce because I done seen you down there at the coffee shop. You down there having an affair with this man. You can't say you didn't. You can't say you didn't. And she's like, I'm so sorry. You know how they get when you get caught. It ain't the fact that she's doing this stuff. It's the fact that she done got caught with it. Now she's sad, just blowing up her during life. So we have that going on. Also, we have Paul, who is Mama Lou's husband. He's in the hospital. He's really, really sick. And they go to visit with Paul. And as they're visiting with Paul, Jax starts to have these flashbacks to when she's 16. So we finally figured out what happened with Jax when she was 16 years old. And basically it's this. Paul was a drinker. Everyone knew he was a drinker. Mama Lou asked him to get some help with his drinking. But he masked that drunkenness with his bad behaviors. So, and what I mean by that is, a lot of people want to mask their bad behaviors, but, I was a drunk. What is that phrase? something about a sober mind, a drunk. Anyway, something about being drunk highlights who you are. So, in other words, if you are a drinker, but you're a very sensitive person, you may drink and drink your alcohol, and then you become this, you just start crying. You don't know why you crying, you just crying. If you are someone who is very, you present yourself very low key and calm and all this other stuff, but then when you drink, and someone tries to tell people, he's a mess up under all of that, but you have this facade, and if you drink, it's going to bring out your true you. It's you. It's not, oh, I'm just was drunk, I didn't know what I was doing. No, that is you. But the alcohol lowers your inhibition. So if you're someone who tries to keep yourself in line and you drink that alcohol is going to break that down. And if you are hell on wheels is going to show. And it's just basically, I wish I knew the phrase right off the top of my head. Drunk something makes a sober mind. Is some Put it down in the comments. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, well, don't worry about it. So anyway, Jax is having flashbacks. And so basically what has happened is he did a little grooming. And what that is just trying to is testing the waters. See how far I can go with you before you say something. So first it starts with him while she's in the car. He drops her off at Sally's house. And while she's at the car, because she goes and gives him a hug, and then he brushes her breast. That's the first thing. And he tries to play it off like, oh, well, that just happened with the hug. Well, they have hugged several times and that hasn't happened. So she understands that. At that moment, I would have addressed it with my mom. Because when they grooming, they're trying to see how far you'll let them go. Then she had the incidents where he claimed she had something on her butt, and then he just kind of was, brushing it off. But it was the fact that he was trying to see that thing bounce. And then the last straw that broke it was the fact that he jumped into bed with her as if he was in bed with his wife. And him jumping and acting like he didn't know what was going on. And then good thing that she screamed, good that she didn't get petrified in fear and didn't say anything. Good thing that she screamed, and good thing that she told her mom. Mom puts him out, but she's sad because she love herself some Paul, child. She love herself some Paul. We get that plot going on. Then we get Damon and his brother. His brother is high to the highest sense of pissed because you remember last episode, Damon went out with Jax and he did not do the job that he was supposed to do. And so CJ had somebody else to do it, but CJ basically let him know that he was sick of that. He was sick of Damon not doing what he needed to do so they can run this scam, the scam that they're running with the VIN numbers and everything like that. So he has Jax in his cackles right now because his brother is not doing what he needs for him to do, simply because he's so in love with Jax, or he has Jax on the brain. And baby, we find out how far he got Jax on the brain, honey. He's talking to her, and then he's all mad about her attention. I need your attention, and you need to be paying me attention. First of all, well, both y'all got jobs, and she comes in to have lunch with you. That should be you. You already knew and understand. She gave you a very clear thing that what she can give you, what she can give you. You chose to accept it, but then you try to make it more than what it is. A mess. So then we have Will. Will has been contacting you. Remember, I told you Will has been contacting her. And Will is the person that my first feelers were showing that he was the one bothering her. But after Damien, he came over to the house. He claimed that he had been texting her. He's been trying to get with her. He said that when he was let go from his job here with them, the company decided to fire him. And so he was saying he can't get another job, and he would like a reference. He said that the least you can owe me is a reference uh, so that I can get a new job with a new security firm. And she was like, okay, cool, I'll do that. Because first he came in kind of creepy, and I was like, darn, he is really, really doing it. But she let him know that there were cameras everywhere, baby. You ain't gonna be able to do what you think you finna do. What she thought you was fixing to do. Anyway, Will. Baby, Will was about to leave that house, and here come Damien, baby. He saw that man, and them blue eyes went red, child. When I tell you, he beat that man down, he kicked him, he stuff like that, makes me believe that, yeah, he did stab old dude back in the day, because his anger, you couldn't even calm him down. She had to make him leave in order for him to calm down. I can't believe you doing me like this. Oh, honey, he was just cutting up, fist flying. Then he choked the dude. I was like, good God, Will. She finally got Damon out of there. Will was coming off the floor. He was like, this is the best, worst thing I ever did was get mixed up with you. She kept saying, I'm sorry. He said, it's the worst thing I could have done, get mixed up with you. Because I mean, he had choked him out to where where he was just about to pass out. Baby, poor Will. So after this incident, my instincts of CJ being the one to have her tied up is I think is coming to pass, because Will is done. Will is like, you crazy ass folks around him. And y'all, I'm not laughing at anybody getting beat down or anything, but I just can imagine you going someplace to try to get a reference for a new job, and in the midst of that, you get your tail whooped down, and you don't even know why you getting whooped down, child. Jax said, ain't no good look. That is not a good look, Jax. That is not a good look. So she goes over to Charlene, Shayla's, whatever the girl's name is, child, because that's her friend, and she's talking, and apparently Jax told her way back in the day what Paul did, and she has kept Jax's secret, and she's talking to her, and she's letting her know about the divorce. And in the midst of her, in the midst of Jax letting Charla, whatever her name is, in the midst of her letting Jax know about the divorce, she said, she mentions to her that she talked with Lewis and said that told Lewis that Jax is hold on, yeah. In the midst of all that, she talked to Jax and was, well, anyway, Charla, whatever this young lady's name is, I'm gonna get her name in a minute. I wanted to stop really quick because I think it's a level of disrespect. If I keep saying that I'm gonna remember this girl's name, I don't. And that's so sad. Every time, you all give me 15 to 30 seconds. I'm gonna find that young lady's name in a minute. Chanel. Baby's name is Chanel. Right here. Charge it right here. Because, baby, I was close. Chanel. I was close. Charlene, I was close, but I wasn't right. And I apologize. Anyway, let's get to it. So Chanel tells Jax, hey, I saw when Lewis came over, I was bigging you up. I was saying how you were happy and how everything was going on. I didn't realize at the time that it was somebody else, baking your cakes that was making you happy. So then Jax gets mad, and she's like, hold up. What are you getting mad at me for? You do the behaviors, and then you get mad at everybody else except for looking at yourself. She says, how I wasn't talking about your marriage. I thought I was big upping. I didn't realize it was all this other stuff that was going on. And because Jax basically told her something about, you don't need to be getting in the middle of my marriage. I don't get in the middle of your marriage. She was like, fine. Okay. She says, I apologize for that. And so she says, look, if I've got to sit here and get beat up or get torn down, I'd rather go, I can do that. I can get that at home. So then Jax is like, she says, Jack's like, I'm sorry. What's going on? She said, we don't get in each other's marriages. You've got a mess. You got to fix it, and you need to fix it too, because you're going to mess around and you're going to push everybody away from you. Baby, Jack's looking all dumbfounded and whatnot. But baby, she goes over and she talks to Damon, and it doesn't go the way it should go. He goes to boo-hooing and crying, I need you. I waited 16 years for you, and you ain't putting me first. And just and she's soft-hearted, so she gonna say, I'll be there. It's okay. I'll do what I can. And she said that same thing to her mom as well. She goes to she talks to Lewis, and Lewis is basically like, look, I can't talk to you. Jax is pleading that she doesn't want a divorce. He says, I don't want to talk right now. You've done too much. It's one thing for you to do this thing with Will. That's fine. But you're in a whole emotional relationship with this other man, and I'm not going to put up with that. And I'm not going to put up with you with that. If you don't want to be here, in the words of Fantasia, you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. Woo child. But anyway, he basically tells her that, and she's like, well, we need to talk to the kids. Also, what has happened even prior to this, because Lewis and Jax had gotten their wires crossed, they forgot to pick the kids up. So the school is calling them, letting them know that the kids are sitting out here waiting for somebody to pick them up. And that oldest child, that son, lets them have it. He says, I know y'all are going through some stuff, but we're the one paying the price for it. So y'all need to get y'all stuff together. And I didn't blame him. I will applaud Jax and Lewis for having children that are expressive, that have the ability to express themselves, and they not take it as an affront to their motherhood or their fatherhood. These kids are expressing their emotions. Hey, it's embarrassing and it is scary not to know who's going to pick us up. It just is what it is. And I do appreciate the fact that them as a couple have raised their kids to be in that vein, which is great. And y'all realize, I don't know if you haven't checked out my Creed trailer reaction, is down in my movie reaction playlist. But how about the little boy is gonna be in Creed? He's playing Adonis as a preteen. Like he looked like about maybe about 10, 11, 12 or something like that. But he's playing him as a teenager. And I was like, look at him with all these little jobs and all these little roles. But anyway, let's keep moving. So we get to the end, and Jax goes and she confronts Paul. And she lets Paul know that, hey, he's like, oh, that she really wants an apology from him, and he's apologizing, but he's saying it in the vein of, oh, I'm a drunk, and I didn't mean what happened, and let's just leave things in the past. And she's like, that's good for you. She said, but that's not good for me. She says, what about the other times? What about the times that you ran your hand across my breast? What was the time that you touched my bottom? What about these other times? And then she talks about her daughter, and she says, if you touch my daughter, she says, I will kill you with my bare hands. And he started getting upset, and he was reaching for the button to call the nurse, and she kind of pushed the button away from him, and she made sure to let him know that she would, if he did anything to her daughter, that she was going to kill him with her bare hands. And then she hit the button back so that he can press it. And so by the time he pressed the button, she walks out because she's crying. She walks out, and as she gets to the parking lot, his heart stopped, and Paul is gone. So this is going to be interesting about how her mother is going to react to her with Paul being gone, and her thinking that Jax had something to do with Paul being gone. Now, so the end of the episode concluded with Jax in the parking lot, and it hit her. I know who killed Kalisha. And so she calls Rich to let him know. I don't know if I talked about this in the main plot, but I want to bring it up here. Jax went to go see, because after Jax had interrogated Sarah, she went over to the house to make sure that everybody was okay. She gets over there. Braden is drinking. He is drinking to the point that he then tries to he apologizes to Jack. Jack accepts an apology about when they first met and he didn't like her, or he said, I didn't like you because you saw me and I don't like to be seen. So, baby, he goes around that counter, and then he tries to kiss it. They go, he says, bring it in, because he wants to give a hug. And then he starts smelling her and hugging her and doing all this other stuff. And she's like, wait a minute, what you doing? That ain't right. That ain't right. Baby, baby, baby. I got the side eye on him. I think I talked about it earlier. I hope I did. But if not, I just talked about it. He is an ass. Is basically, he is an ass. He is a real self-centered ass. And for him to do that to Jax was just very, very low down. And then I can see how he did that with Kalisha. And then he's feeling like that he's not being interpreted. He just doesn't see that what he does is a problem. And a lot of that probably has to do how people have anyway, we won't get into that. That's a whole other thing. But tell me what y'all like. Did y'all watch? Have y'all watched? It is on Hulu. If you haven't watched, you have the opportunity this weekend to binge watch the whole season, because I think we have 2 more episodes for you to get caught up. So we are on episode 8. We've got we got 2 more episodes. There's 10 episodes. So what are y'all thinking? What are y'all thinking? So let's get into this. Let's get into this. Baby. Jax! Who shot you, boo? Listen. You remember how I kept saying that it was Will? Over here in episode 4, Will was my main thing. But prior to that, I said CJ about covering. I thought they were doing a drug business, but it's something with cars. I think CJ is kidnapping Jax. I think he is kidnapping Jax to leverage his brother to do what he has asked him to do, because I think there's a lot of money on the line, and he figures that he could keep his brother focused if he has Jax in a place where he could keep what's his name, so that he could keep that brother in line. That's what I believe. That's what I believe, child. So what do y'all think? Who do you think shot Jax? Who do you think tied Jax up and shot at her? Who do you think? I'm curious as to who Jax thinks shot or killed Kalisha. I was very much into Theo, but we just find out that Theo is a thief. He is just he's a big A thief. So I wonder who Jax thinks kills her. Because here's the suspects. You got Sarah. You got Fallon's husband. I'm still putting Theo in there. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Who do you think killed her? You think Jax thinks that Fallon's husband did it? Because he has said something about killing with the bare hands. I'm curious as to who she believes killed Kalisha. I wonder, does it match up with who I think killed Kalisha? Because I have my suspects, but I'm still thinking it's Sarah. I really do think it's Sarah. Because Theo, to me, has been, like I said, he's been proved to be a thief. But Sarah had more to lose than anybody. Theo had everything to gain with Kalisha being dead and with Braden being on trial for the murder. So Sarah loses it. I think it was Sarah, y'all. What y'all think? But let me know down in the comments, y'all. Let me know down in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought. Who do y'all think who killed Kalisha, and who got Jax all tied up? All right, people. Again, support the channel, so please like, comment, and subscribe. And when you subscribe, peruse peruse the playlist. All right. And as always, people, bye bye.